Okay, I'm a little early. Just going to wait for the chat to populate somewhat. Today we're going to work on, or tonight rather, we're going to work on a table of time, basic, up to groupings of 6. Then I'm going to try to interject some dynamics, as like in Mastering Your Tables of Time by Dave Stanek. Next week, one day, I'm going to spend my 1 p.m. and my 7 p.m. taking something from his publication and working with it. Okay? So, with all that being said, I'll just wait. Okay. Any questions about this afternoon, gentlemen? Modulation. There's a lot of that modulation going on in Mastering the Tables of Time by Dave Stanek. I didn't want to hit on this tonight, but it's got me crazy because I've told Dave, I spoke to him as a matter of fact today, and I asked for his permission if I could take any lines and write them and send them to the students, and he said, no problem. Okay, let's see what he's got going on here. The first thing he does, okay, is he takes the table of time. Not the way it's presented in Morello book. He does it a little different. He doesn't start with a whole note. He starts with a half note. He goes on a triangle, okay? And he starts from half notes to quarter note, and then quarter note triplets, eighth note triplets. And it gives you the count on each one, which is cool. Now, when I do the Morello table of time, which is not basic, I mean, it's time. You're making a transition going from quarter notes to quarter note triplets to eighth notes. It's the same thing, but this gets into it a little bit more. So by me doing, say, you got the sheet, right, Jim? I'm early, I'm very early. Anyway, you got the PDF, right? Okay. I sent you the PDF on the table of time to groupings of 6. Now, when I demonstrate this or teach this, in the beginning, the basic formation, I'm using full strokes and half strokes and the level system. All right, I'm not using any dynamics. So what I did for the first line, you have quarter notes, but I've accented each quarter note. All right, so I'm going to play the first line of the PDF, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Now both right hand and left hand sounded the same. So I'll do that a couple measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same sound. Then the way I show you the quarter note triplets, do you know how to count quarter note triplets, Jim? I do have a video, a breakdown of the table of time on YouTube. So you might want to go to YouTube and check it out. How you doing, Paul? And I have a breakdown of how to count the quarter note triplets, but I'm going to do it right now. When I count quarter note triplets, if you notice the way they are on the PDF, there's 3 quarter notes with a 3 inside of a bracket. So that indicates, who's this? Oh, okay. G drums. How are you, G drums? First time here? Anyway, I'm going to break it down right now. The quarter note triplet. This way, it's firsthand. If you have any questions, you know, you could talk to me instead of talking. You can't talk to the video. Okay? G Drums, is this the first time you're here, sir? Okay, there's my email. It's right above your answer. What you want to do is take that email me, and I'll put you on my mailing list. And what I will do is I will send you PDFs and let you know. That's okay. I will let you know the week's agenda. Tonight, we're just going to do the table of time from Joe Morello's book. Do you have the Master Studies 1 by Joe Morello? Thank you, guys. All right. Let me, instead of talking and networking, you have it, okay. I don't have it in front, I don't know what page, but there, open up the book to the table of time, okay? The first line is quarter notes. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what I just did was 2 measures of quarter notes, and I equalized the sound on the right hand and equalized the sound on the left hand. So both hands sound the same. If you were to turn, if you were watching me, you would see me play right, left, right, left. However, if you turned around and didn't watch me, you would not know which is the right hand or which is the left hand. That's how equalized you need to make that sound. And it's all one volume now, for now. I go to the second line, is quarter note triplets. Now, when I play quarter note triplets, or C quarter notes, I go right into the 8th note triplet mode because I'm counting 8th notes. I'm counting 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the. As you see it there, you see 3 quarter notes with a 3 with a bracket. That's indicating that is a quarter note triplet. And you see 2 of them. Okay, so now when I count, I'm going to play just with one hand so I can demonstrate the count. Then I'll play it as from line 1 to line 2. Make the transition. So I'm counting 1 and the, 2 and the, 3 and the, 4 and the. A little faster. 1 and the, 2 and the. It's a form of 3 against 2, okay? So now let me play, and I'll make the transition from line 1 to line 2. Line 1 is the 4 quarter notes. Line 2, you go into quarter note triplets. So I'll play line 1 and line 2 back and forth for a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and the 2 and the 3. Back to 1. Now try to make that transition smooth so there's no disruption in the pocket, the pulse, so to speak, okay? Okay, so now we go to the next line, which is 8th notes. We all know how to play 8th notes. And I don't play it the way he has it written in the book. I play the first 3 lines, all accents. Every note's an accent. So the third line is just straight eighth notes. I'm playing accent. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. But notice now, the sticks, the right stick and the left stick sound the same. So let me drop down line 1, 2, and 3, back and forth. Try to make the transition smooth. Oh, like every 24 hours. At this time, I yawn. I don't know why. I guess it's my old age shit. Okay, let's try it again. Number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 2. 3. The only change that you should hear is not the sound, but it's the rhythm. Quarter notes, quarter note triplets to eighth notes. The next line is where I start doing an accent because I'm teaching this to somebody who doesn't really understand, to make that transition from eighth notes to eighth note triplets. I wanted to, you could hear me okay, correct? I have one of the switches off. I hope it don't affect it. Jesus. All right, so now I go to the next line, which is eighth note triplets. Oh, that's good, Jim. All right, anyway, I'm going to eighth note triplets. Now, here's where I put the accent only on the downbeat. The first 3 lines, all the accents were nailing it down each note. So I go to the eighth note triplet line and I get this. 1, 2, 3. I look like a robot, yeah, but I'm teaching, so I'm playing it fast. Eighth note triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So now we're going to take, okay, line 1 to the eighth note triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Eighth notes. Eighth note. 1 and 2. Eighth note, quarter note triplets. Eighth notes. Triplets. Now I go to 16th notes. I'm going to play 4 notes to each downbeat, and I'm going to accent the first count. And there's something in there. Sounds like shit. So that's taking you up to the groupings of 4. Does everybody understand how to do the 5s? It's referred to as a quintuplet. Do you all understand how to do the groupings of 5? Okay, that means I have to get 5 strokes equal to the downbeat. Like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know how to do that. Okay, don't forget to email me, please. So that's, and welcome, come back anytime, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so now the groupings of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. And the groupings of 6. What's this? Groupings of 6. Okay, I'm subdividing the count. I'm not counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. There's a lot of counting. So I make it easier for myself. I'm counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So on and so forth. Now I'm not going to play from line 1 to the groupings of 6 because, there's the video out there. You can watch it. Okay. However, I wanted to introduce this a little bit different. That's the way I teach it, so you understand the transition from line to line. It makes it easier. Now, once you understand that, then it gets a little crazy. Okay? With the way Dave is doing this. And it's absolutely great. And it's really controlling what you do. All right. For example, I did mention last night to remember the dynamics. So we're going to stay with quarter notes first. Then we go to quarter note trips or whatever. Any line of those, the groupings of 6. So we know what F means, correct? Gentlemen, FF, no cursing. Musically, what does it mean? F means forte. Forte means loud. FF fortissimo means a little louder than forte. Then fortissimo, I guess that's how you say it, very loud. Then you have mezzo forte, moderately loud. Then you have piano, which means soft. Pianissimo, very soft. Pianissimo, very, very soft. Now we're going to interject those dynamics. And this is where you really get the control. I mean, I could sit there for years and just play a table of time at a variety of tempos. So what is that doing to me? That's helping me maintain my timing ability to get those notes inside, even with mixtures, because that's what reading's about. We did that this afternoon. Now, what we're doing now is we're going to take a line. For example, let's do eighth notes. Now, the way I demonstrated the eighth notes was all one level, all one sound. I would say forte. You can make it as loud as you want. Just remember, you only can hit a drum so loud. After that, it chokes. So we're not going to do what they call the arm stroke or the molar whip, or the molar, whatever, okay? We're going to take the quarter note, then we're going to start off. We're not going to do crescendo, decrescendo yet. I'm going to take the quarter note and do it in fortissimo. Then I'll make it a little softer and go to forte. So fortissimo would be this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty loud. Forte would be here. It's a little softer than this. See that? Then just forte, piano. So let's take, those different dynamics, and right now just use one dynamic per measure. So let's do one measure piano and the next measure forte. So we have this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. it puts a little bit more control on the thing, and it makes it a little bit more fruitful for you to control your dynamics within a tempo. Now that's a simple one, just doing quarter notes. Now, for example, if I did 16th notes, eighth notes rather, and I say, okay, let's do one measure fortissimo. Okay, then let's do the next measure, piano. All right, so now I'm going to do one measure fortissimo, one measure piano. Back. That's piano. Fortissimo. You see what that's doing, guys? You understand that? And I'm not going to sit here and do single strokes piano and have a crescendo. Do we understand it, gentlemen? Any questions on that? By the way, Jim, I've been working on one sheet tonight before the lesson. I had some time. And I was putting down the flam, alternating flam, the free stroke flam. And then I put down the flam tap, the inverted flam tap. And I'm going to work on a flam paradiddle, the flam double paradiddle number 1, flam paradiddle number 2, so on and so forth. So I'm going to try to, I'm going to get this down for you, Paul. It's not a problem. I'm just kind of explaining what Dave's book sort of is about, being it among. See, for example, if I played, we're going to talk about the modulation too. That's going to be difficult. Because first you got to learn this. And understand the difference between, say, 4/4, 3/4, 9/8, 12/8. There's a lot to learn. And I just don't, I know where to go, but it's so hard to see somebody in the chat and not knowing what they can do, or sitting next to me so we could do it. It's so difficult. I wish they would come up with some invention, whereas, yeah, you could see everybody. That would be cool. Okay? So, Jim, you're going to get the flam taps. The flam, you're going to get the alternating flam, the downstroke flam, and the free stroke flam. Then the flam taps, inverted flam tap, flam accent, Swiss Army triplet, right side, Swiss Army triplet, left side, then the flamadiddles. Who do we have here? A new guy. All right. That's what we like, new guys. Puffin. Which one are we talking about there? The snare drum? That's the power stroke. And I don't really like it, right? It's old. I have to change it. I have to fix the snare. It really sounded terrible. And I have the power stroke on the bass drum, yes? Okay. This is your first time here, right? Tuffan. Is that how you say your name? Tuffan. I hope I say it correct. And I don't know what a P3, yeah, that's coded. That's what I have. I have a ton of heads there. Oh, by the way, I was talking to some of my companies, and from now on, when we do a lesson where we have a guest, like in February, maybe sooner, they're going to supply me with drum heads, drum books, drum sticks, and we'll have like door prizes. The way that works is this. To say you're going to come to the lesson or come to the broadcast. As you enter the broadcast, I will give you a number. Okay? I'll take the number, put it in a hat. and somewhere inside of the broadcast we'll pull it out. This is for a drum head. This is for a pair of sticks. This is for books. This is for McDonald's. Whatever. But I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm trying to network this, make it more, make people come. That's what I'm looking for. How long you been playing there, Tufan, and where you from? Paul, you have any questions on the reading? Tufan, where are you from? You're from Turkey. Okay, good. All right, you see there, I put my email in there. What you want to do, if you want, because you get on my mailing list and receive PDFs and the week's agenda, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay? Well, Paul, some of the reading, you're going to have some questions eventually, because I had to start someplace on the reading. First of all, let me just ask Tufan, what time is it in Turkey, by the way? It is now 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the USA. What time is it in Turkey? All right, well, the reading, let's get to that. The reading I put together was I had to have a starting point. And if there's no questions on the reading from anybody, then I'm going to build it to make it a little bit more difficult. Then the questions would be. You see how I proofread that, Paul? You look at the measure, the line 1. On the left-hand side, you see the figure. On the right-hand side, you see the proofread. All you need to do is take out the lefts, and that's what the reading is. So it's a no-brainer there. Okay? All right. Now, I'm not going to start no rudiments tomorrow. Monday, I'm going to try to do a lesson out of Dave Stanik's book, maybe Monday night. During the day, 1 p.m. Monday, I will be doing some more reading. Hey, Jim, did you have any problems with the reading? Anybody have any problems with the reading? It's very simple. We got to get into the dot, the tie, different ways to write the same figure, all that kind of stuff. Wow, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing up for? Doing up at 4 o'clock in the morning in Turkey. Can't you sleep? You're better off coming to, what's that? That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-hour difference. So 1 p.m. would make it 8 p.m. your time. Okay? If you come to the 1 p.m. lesson. So come here 1 p.m. my time, it's 8 p.m. your time. It would be better for you. Yes? You're welcome to come anytime. Right now it's free. I do accept donations and or registry. You can't sleep. What do you have? The table of time on your mind. Just joking. Okay, guys, you have any questions about what we've done this afternoon? Jim? G drums? G drums? Rudiments next week, Monday sometime, reading. I'm going to take some. Is he? He can't be. It's 4, what time did he say it was? 3:50 a.m. That's that's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. If he comes 8 o'clock he signs on at 8 o'clock his time, it will be 1 o'clock our time. So that would be perfect for him. Joe, you have any questions on anything? What rock book was that, Jim? The Funky Primer, perhaps? That's a good beginning book. What do you usually play, Jim? You're into jazz drumming. Interesting. Now we have to start talking. We have to go. I don't know. We're gonna have to start scheduling some different kind of subject matter. I tried to do that 3 against 4 with the page 11, 1 through 22. That made me crazy, making everybody else crazy. I want to keep going back to that occasionally. You have the workbook and all these lessons. Maybe I'm giving too many lessons a week. That's 8 lessons a week. Should I cut that back? What was the last tune you listened to, Paul and Jim? Jazz-wise. I have Mike Clark do a lesson. You could ask him all the questions you want about jazz. Great jazz player. I don't know the book, Jim. All right, I'll send you some stuff. I don't know what I want to do. I'm just tired. We're going to do some more reading tomorrow, gentlemen. 1 p.m. And I'm going to try the Dave Stanek book. I talked to him on the phone. He called my house here, or my studio, whatever you want to call it. And I asked him what he would like me to do. And he told me whatever I want to do. So I saw a couple of his videos that he does demonstrate the table of time. See, Dave's an extremely intelligent man. Wow. Who's this? Let me see what we got here. John Coltrane. Okay. Well, you know what? You get these guys, you know, you're making these comments in here. You get these guys who are self-taught. They don't know the level system. They don't know how to read. They just go out and play. And that's a good thing. You know, they know the basic, this is how you hold a stick. That's a ride cymbal. That's a snare. And they start to play. The more they play, the better they become inside of that kind of music. What you guys want to do is take 1 night, 2 nights a week, and go hang out at a jam session. Because all the stuff you learn from me, the mechanics of how to develop the independence, the coordination, the concept of the AABA, is all going to come into your face when you sit down and jam and start studying tunes. I used to get my ass whooped when going to jam sessions. Simple tunes. Now to see jam blues is really nothing, man. It's just straight ahead, da-dum, 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 and you improvise. But you take a tune like A Moment's Notice or Milestones or Freddie the Freeloader, all those stuff. You got to know those tunes, man. You're doing the A section, the B section, the AABA. You got to know that kind of rule. That's how you become a better jazz musician. You know, I know a guy who went to the bottom line, drummer. Check this out. He goes on the gig with just 1 ride cymbal. That's it. No drums. And guess what? He smoked. Who's this? I can't see that. Well, that's all it is a foundation. Any teacher's going to... See, let me tell you, I keep saying this, and nobody wants to believe me. You know, you get teach, I'll teach you how to play. Bullshit. I'll teach you a 5-stroke roll, and I'll show you all the variables that I possibly can show you. I'll show you how to play a rock pattern, how to develop a faster foot, how to play jazz independence. Bottom line, nobody can teach you to play, period, except the music. The music is your teacher. I'm the incidentals, or the other teachers are your incidentals. That's how it works. Your experience, you behind your drum kit on the bandstand with the other musicians, and you go, oh shit, what do I do now? That's where you get the experience. That music is going to teach you to play. It's going to teach you to groove, because nothing could teach you to groove except the music and the other musicians that you play with. Period. Case closed. Oh, I'm always complaining. Well, everything comes from the stick control book. If you look at the reading I sent you, okay? If you look at the left-hand side of the page, which was the figure, and the measure next to it, which was, for example, a run of eighth notes, look at the sticking. That comes from stick control. What I'm asking you to do to make sure you're proofreading it is to eliminate the lefts, and if you just play the rights, that's what the figure is. It's simple. Hey, get a boom, get a banga, bing bang. Okay, hold on. Let me see what this is. All these words today. You guys are making me work. Thank you, Efron. What kind of game are you playing, Jim? Just practice. Don't worry. That sounds like a competitive thing. Don't be competitive with this shit. It's not, you're not in a sport. I mean, it's a fun thing to do. I mean, you know, I mean, I did a couple things like that one time. I had one guy here, I forgot his, Gus Johnson, I think it was. Young kid. I met him, I was sitting on my front porch when I used to live way back ago. I was in another town having a cigarette, and he's marching around with a snare drum in the field across from me. So I went over and I talked to him. And made friends with him. Good drummer, man, good set of hands. Then he come to my studio that I had him touching, and we hung out on the drum pad, and he wanted to play that game and see who fell out first with doubles. So I said, okay, give me a tempo. We'll do them in 30-second notes. He gives me a tempo. I put him on, play 30-second notes. No timer, just play. Whoever falls out first, go ahead. Well, needless to say, we didn't take too long for him to fall out. After about 2 minutes, after that, he was struggling, I could tell. But it was fun, but that's ridiculous. Absolutely. The slower you play. Why is that, Joe? Why is that statement true? You practice slow. Then the speed comes through practicing slow. Why is that? I don't know. I want to play fast all the time. I get these guys on Facebook, and they sit and do a solo, and they try to play singles for 9 minutes, one speed, all over the drum kit. What does that mean? I have no idea. But that, you know, you ask them to play what they did slow, they can't do it. Slow, what you're doing is you're developing control. You're strengthening your control. Once you strengthen that control, you could play singles as fast as you want eventually. Yeah, I mean, you only could play so fast. I mean, really. After a certain period, a point, it's a blur. I got to sign off, guys. This heat's getting me in here. It's really hot. Well, if you come back tomorrow, try to come back 8 p.m. your time. It's 1 o'clock our time here. And have a good night's sleep and good luck in school tomorrow. And if you have any questions, email me. I'll send you some PDFs. Okay? Guys, you have any questions? That's very polite of you to say you're leaving. I mean, that's very polite. Good night, good night, good night. See everybody 1 p.m. tomorrow.